Alright, so no matter how much I try to avoid the subject at hand, I can't seem to get away from the fact that every single time I turn on my television, there's always some sort of a rant, there's always some sort of commotion, there's always some sort of uproar going on between protesters of both parties, the political parties of the Republicans and the Democrats. You have the Donald Trump supporters, you have the Bernie Sanders supporters, you have Ted Cruz, you have Hillary Clinton. Everybody is just up at each other's throats. People are calling, just Bernie Sanders a former communist. People are calling Donald Trump a racist. People are saying, watch out for Hillary, Benghazi, Benghazi. It's just been a never-ending, continuous circle of shit that people just keep gunning at each other's throats over just simple opinions. Now, I tend to stay as far away from politics as possible because sometimes you're entering like dangerous territories when you're entering the realm of politics and whatnot, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents on protesters. Now, normally protesters, they go to protest, they go to voice their opinions and whatnot, and they're always like anti-violence, right? But, the terminology of violence to them is at an obscurity. It's at a very thin line. Why? Because these protesters go to voice their opinions and whatnot. Meanwhile, they claim to be non-violent, but they're yelling out, fuck this, fuck that, screw you, screw that, off with your head, back to the border, you suck, and they're saying all sorts of obscurities, and it's not a proper demonstration of how to protest in an essence. Now, I'm not trying to say, sit there peacefully with a picket sign and just picket your way out of there. No, I'm just saying that every single time you look at these protests, there's always some escalation of violence that happens, like someone's punching out someone because they believe that Donald Trump's a racist, someone is knocking someone out because they feel like they're feminist towards Hillary Clinton and stuff. It's obscure. I mean, to me personally, no matter what happens during the presidential election in November, of course, it's not really going to make that much of a difference. I mean, it just baffles me how certain people believe, oh yeah, America's gonna change and this, that, and the third. I bet you somewhere out there, somebody is just sitting there like, oi Mitch, check this out, yeah? Stupid Americans are fighting over freaking presidential candidates, yeah? It's not gonna make a difference, because it's not. I mean, look at the entirety, like, first and foremost, look at the structure of the entirety of someone's presidency, right? You had Bill Clinton, you had George Bush, you had Barack Obama. To a degree, certain things have changed, but mostly for the worst. Now, many people will argue and say Ronald Reagan was the greatest president of all time, John F. Kennedy was the greatest president of all time. People have their opinions. And judging based off of what's going on now with, the obscurities of people just calling certain presidential candidates racist and stuff, everybody's always gonna have like a label for someone just because they don't like their political views. And it sucks because like these protesters are going out there and they're expressing themselves not by words, but by action, by like fists. Like I'm just really surprised that nobody has like whipped out a flamethrower and just started burning people, because it's come to that point. You go to Infowars.com, you go to We Are Change, you go to all these places to where they cover these political topics and stuff, and you look at what these protesters are doing, and it's just like an escalation of violence like none other. I mean, I get it. I get why certain people don't like Trump. I get why certain people don't like Hillary. I get why certain people don't like Bernie Sanders. I get why certain people don't like Ted Cruz. But like this is like escalating to like some Dragon Ball Z type like scenario where people are gonna like start like destroying each other all because of like what they believe in. Now I understand, living here, you do have a choice. You have a choice to vote for who you want to vote for, and you have to look at both sides of the spectrum to see where you fall in that category, because you do want the best for yourself alongside your fellow man. That's already a given. But I don't agree with like the way things have been going about with the media. Like the media is like, oh well, riots ensue in Chicago and just all these like they're just blowing things up and making them a lot worse than what they already seem, which kind of pisses me off, and it's already expected, because when Barack Obama first ran for presidency, everybody and their mothers was like, if you don't vote for Obama, you're racist because he's black and you don't believe in equality and stuff. Now, in an essence, people are just like, oh, I mean, certain people, of course, are saying, well, if you don't vote for Hillary Clinton, you're a sexist because she's a woman. It's like you don't win, Individuals shouldn't be based on how they look. They shouldn't be based on how tall they are, how old they are. Like, people are saying I'm not voting for Bernie Sanders because he's too old. What does it matter? If the guy knows what he's doing, why not elect him into office? It boggles my mind. Like, some of these people lack common sense, which is dangerous in our generation, because our generation is lacking common sense, knowledge, and people just go about like certain appearances. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna vote for him because he's too old. I'm not gonna vote for her because she's a woman. Like, just eradicate that, erase that, remove that from your viewpoint, and look at what they have to bring to the table. Again, I'm just one person. I'm just one person voicing my opinion in a very I guess you could say professional way, because I could be out there too, punching somebody out and saying, yeah, and doing all these things, but it's not gonna make a difference, really. It's just gonna make you look really, really stupid. I mean, I get it. Certain people go to these protest rallies and they bring cameras, they want to do interviews and stuff. That's fine. But then you got all these idiots wearing masks and bandanas and stuff, and they're just like, yeah, man, yeah, what's your view on things? And you're like, yo, I believe in this, this, and this, and someone's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna knock you, and they start a fight. It's just like, why? Now, I get it, like, certain situations don't even escalate to that point, because fights ensue, like, out of the blue. Like, for example, there were certain rallies where a Trump supporter would knock out a Bernie Sanders supporter, or like, you know, like, just out of the blue. All in all, I would really suggest for you guys to watch a special called House of Cards. It'll really share some insight as to like how politics are run. I'm not an expert in politics, all right? I'm just one individual, right? Whether you like or dislike the video, I don't really care, because I'm expressing what I feel, and again, it's not obligated for me to do so. I've been seeing this on like social media. I've been seeing this in the news everywhere. And it's just like, it bothers me, because a lot of these protesters have, you know, good intentions when they go to these rallies. They want to like voice their opinion, and they do want change. And then you have the idiots that are there looking for a fight because they want to knock someone out because of their skin color, because how tall they are, because whatever, their political standpoints. It's like, God forbid, you know, a Bernie Sanders supporter runs into a Ted Cruz supporter, or like a Donald Trump supporter runs into like a Hillary Clinton supporter. It'll be like Armageddon. It'll be like Mortal Kombat. You just place one in the other and let them fight, Godzilla style. It'll just be a clash of the titans. So again, it's just, for people that live in America, at least, like, they know, because like we've been through a lot in this country, as does every other country, because again, like, everybody goes through a set of problems. It's not just, you know, America itself. But right now we're covering the grounds of what's going on in America, because racial wars, you have like the escalation between class wars, the middle class, the rich class, and the poor. It's just like everybody's at each other's throats, and it's quite scary to look at what's going to happen in November, because in an essence, in a very tiny essence, whoever wins, we lose ultimately. I mean, granted, yeah, we may have all the support and knowledge and all of the you know, whatever for this person. Like, we may support this person with all of our, you know, trust and with everything we have within us. But who's to say that once they get elected, they're not going to be like, aha, yeah, all right, so remember all that stuff that I promised you? Yep, gone out the window, bye. Now, again, I'm not going to say like who I'm voting for here, because it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just a matter of opinion. Comment down below as to who you guys will be voting for and why, and what your political standpoint is, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, a liberal, a conservative, whatever. Because like, I've been seeing a lot of comments where people are just like, yeah, you know, Bernie Sanders, he was a former communist and now he's a socialist. And then you got like other people saying, well, you know, Ted Cruz is a fascist, and some people are saying, well, you know, Hillary Clinton she's going to commit mass genocide because of what happened in Benghazi and Syria and stuff, and she's a warmonger. And then you got people saying, you know, Donald Trump's a racist, he's an arrogant prick and stuff. It's just like a never, like, you don't gain anything out of it. It's just like, you sit there and you're like, God, all right, so what are their political viewpoints again, aside from them being sexist, racist, bigots, and whatever? Just scratch that aside. I would like to know like their overall viewpoints. Now, we do have a premise as to what certain candidates bring, but every single time like I watch a video on something, it's just like, Christ almighty. Like, there was an interview with, I believe his name was Dan Piana, and or Dan Pena, sorry. Dan Pena had an interview where he was talking about like political correctness, and he was like, nobody has balls. Everyone wants to tell you what you want to hear, and then as soon as they get into office, they're like, ha, this is one for you, and this is one for you. It's just like nobody has balls, because everybody wants to be politically correct. And you know, for certain things, for what they are, you do need an individual where they speak their mind. Not saying Trump here, but I'm just speaking in general. Ultimately, like the foundational grounds of the government is always gonna have control over what happens. And if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna believe that the president is the be-all, end-all of the structural factor, then you're just delusional, because there is always somebody that's above the president, you know. And it works in different ways, because this is just from an American standpoint that's covering the grounds of America. All in all, it just baffles me to see all of these people rally up, right? And they have good intentions, but then like seconds later, they're in your face, they're like demanding for you to either change your mind, retract what you said, or they're gonna fuck you up. And it's just like, really? Like, is that what it's boiling down to? Again, I tried so hard to stay away from this topic because I cover many means of like bases like entertainment, games, whatever, but this was something that I've been seeing for such a long time, and certain people want to blow up a certain situation more than what it already is. They're gonna say, you know, well, let's say for example one candidate says one little thing, somebody out there will take that and they'll blow it up, they'll just make it a huge issue than what it already is. And here's the thing, right? Black lives matter, white lives matter, whoever lives matter, everybody's lives matter here. That's just my opinion. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, yellow, purple, your life still matters, all right? Through my visual standpoint. It's not because I'm a white male, I don't really care about that. I'm a living being. I'm alive and I'm living just like you are. Therefore, I feel like life should be cherished. Despite your fucking color, doesn't really mean like, oh god, like he's brown or he's green. Oh look at that green guy over there. Like he's less of a life form than I am. No, we're all alive. We're all breathing, right? We all have noses and stuff. We can all breathe correctly. We can all do all these things. So we should all have equal rights to that basis. All life, like on this planet matters. And certain people, right? They're just like, oh man, you know, this candidate is like anti-life because he wants to take away this from us because we're. It's just like, listen. Like, judge them for what they bring in terms of like foreign policy, in terms of like how they're gonna improve jobs, how they're gonna you know, just provide healthcare and stuff, medical benefits, you know, pension plans, whatever, like funding the armies and stuff. Like, just look at what they have to bring in that respect, rather than them saying, oh well, I want to build a wall. Like, that's been one thing that's been like bothering everybody, is like Trump wants to build this wall. Honest to God, I think that if Trump gets elected, there is going to be no wall. I mean, I think the only wall is going to be with his words. But I mean, shit, if he does build a wall, then I mean, it's kind of, it's really messed up because, but like he stands on the grounds of like illegal immigration, not the current people that are here that have papers. If you're here and you don't have papers, he's trying to get rid of you, like in that essence. But it's just, you can't win with everybody. I mean, you can't really please everybody either as a presidential candidate. You can't please anybody because everybody has like their own sets of views. But it's just like, it brings like a huge level of obscurity because people are just like, they're stuck. They're like, ah, crap. All right, well, he said not to vote for that person because they're anti this, and they said not to vote for that guy because they said he dislikes this kind of people. It's just like, Jesus Christ. And just these protesters, man, like they're making Americans look horrible, because whatever happened to like just going out there and like just voicing your opinion and just really making a stance as to like, no, we want change and this is how it's going to be done, rather than, you know, people just going there armed to the teeth, ready to fight, and then when they get their ass kicked by police, they want to like rant and rave and stuff. It's been crazy. Now come November, it's going to be even more crazy because like we don't even know what's going to happen. But either way, comment down below and let me know your overall thoughts and opinions as to who you guys will be voting for and what your overall standpoint is on protesters, violent protesters. Like that's the whole means of this video. It's like, why are protesters so violent when they go to like these peaceful rallies? That's what I'm trying to get at here, because they claim to be peaceful, but they make all these obscure signs and all these hateful, you know, images on posters and stuff that depict like they're supposed to be all peaceful and loving and stuff, but like they're showing signs of hate. It's like, why? You're contradicting yourself. So I would like to know your overall standpoint on political views, what you guys will be voting for, who you guys will be voting for, and comment down below and let me know your overall thoughts and opinions, guys. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to smash that like button. Leave your overall thoughts down in the comment section description below. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you all later. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.